everyone! So this is the next video in our series on how to assemble your aquaponics system. And so in this video we will be demonstrating how to plant your seeds in these little net cups. And in the previous video we demonstrated how to cut your styrofoam that goes on top of the tank so that your net cups sit in there nicely and the plant roots are going to go right through these little grates and into your aquaponics system. So what you're going to need is, of course, a net cup, some gravel, which I just have in a Tupperware here, and I'll explain why I'm using this later, some water, some seeds, and these are just regular lettuce seeds, and we also have a plate. So what we're going to be doing first is we're just going to pour half of the gravel into this net cup. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pour some of this water on top of the gravel because you want to make sure the gravel is wet when you add your seeds so that they stick, that the seeds don't get flushed out of the system and they don't get moved around when we add the rest of the gravel on top. So I'm just going to take 2 seeds. I'm just going to add them right into the middle here. Just going to sprinkle them in. They don't have to be perfectly in the middle or anything like that. Just do your best. Okay. And now we're going to add the rest of this gravel on top. So normally when you're sprouting seeds, you want to make sure that you're keeping it kind of in the dark, putting it in either like a dark area. But because we covered it with the gravel, you should be perfectly fine. You don't have to keep it in a dark area. You can keep it on a windowsill if you'd like. Okay, so let me just take out the rest of this gravel. And this is just a side note, if you already have a fish tank and that you just plan on converting into an aquaponics system, you want to make sure that you're using the water from that particular system so that when you go to put your sprouted plants in, the seeds and the plants themselves will already be used to the pH and the nutrient level of the water so that they're not a shock when you first put them in the system, and to have a much higher success rate if you do that. And we're just going to add a little bit more water on top here. So the reason I have this plate and this Tupperware is I'm just going to cover this little net cup so that throughout the week I don't really have to worry too much about re-watering it because this water is just going to evaporate and then condense and go back right into the cup. Of course, you do want to make sure that you are periodically, every day or so, checking on the system to make sure that the gravel is wet because you don't want your seeds to dry out. So in about a week, you should have a sprouted plant that is 2 to 3 inches tall, and you should have a white root sticking out of the bottom of this cup here. And so it might just be kind of sticking to one of these grates at the bottom. So if you don't see it, just try to take a second look to see if there is something there that just wasn't easily noticed at first. And what also might happen is because this gravel is loose, the seeds could go in a different direction. So they could be sprouting out this way and that way. And you really want to make sure that you wait until they're 2 to 3 inches tall and they have a much thicker base than what they originally had when you may first notice the fact that they're kind of sticking out in that direction. Because what you're going to do is you're going to remove the couple layers of gravel and you're just going to tug the plant through these little slits here, and you're just going to support it, like pinch it between your fingers and tuck the gravel around it. And you really want to make sure that you have a strong plant because it's very easy to break them or cut off even like with your fingernails the end of the plant accidentally. So you do really want to wait until it is bigger before you go trying to remove the plant from the sides. All right. And so that concludes the video in our series on how to set up your aquaponics system. I hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, I hope it was helpful. And from all of us here at Fish Food for Thought, we hope your day goes swimmingly. See you next time.